Yo, what's up guys, it's Goozy here, and today I have another video. So, this is a hockey ball. This is a hockey, like street hockey puck. And I'm going to be showing you guys today how to play a bit of hockey and recommendations. So, obviously I don't have all my gear. So these are just a normal Bauer gloves. They're used but older. And you could get gloves like these old gloves, or they have some rips and tears, but if you're ever playing like street hockey or like just not like an actual game practicing, you should use like your old kind of pair of gloves. Or if you're a beginner, get used stuff. Never get like brand decked out stuff, because if you get brand new stuff, that's not going to be the recommendation. So this is an old stick, but it may look new, but it's old. I would say it's not old, I would say it's newer. Now I'm going to be showing you guys how to play a bit of hockey and a couple types of shots. And yeah, so to start off, we're going to be taking a wrist shot, okay? So the basics of a wrist shot is you get this toe, so the end part right here, right, see the end, like the end of the blade, and you take this shot and you gotta flick your wrist. So if you're left-handed, so you gotta go like that kind of, but you kind of gotta push a bit of power, kind of like push slightly and flick. So I'll be showing you guys that. So you gotta go like this. Ready? That is a basic wrist shot. It's not too hard. And this is stick handling. So when practice stick handling, there's different types of moves. You can do this, do that faster. You could do a toe drag, but that's more advanced. So this is just a basic shot. That's just a mini. It's like just a normal shot. It's not really a name for it. This is a basic shot. This is a snapshot. So it's like a wrist shot. You do this. So you kind of give your stick a little drag. You could do a drag, or you could just do this. So you could do a drag, or just face off. So it's like a wrist shot, but it's like a slap shot. So you gotta get a little drag, and so you go for like a little slap shot wind. That's a snapshot. This is a slap shot. You kind of, it's obviously you'd be at your body height. You pull your stick up and then shoot. So I'll do an example. So you pull your stick up, and you can't hit. The rule is you cannot hit the ground. If you hit the ground, it's not gonna get all your energy is wasted on the ground. And you gotta keep your stick curved, because if you don't do that, then it'll just hit the ball directly. So if you hit with a little curve and you hit the ball pretty much directly, it's way more effective. And this is a backhand. So if you're stick handling, you pull back or whatever you're doing. You could do this, any kind of move, right? This is your backhand, okay? So if you're left-handed, it's your not thing you kind of slap shot with. It's just a handling can use for. You kind of just do this. So you take the back of it, you curve it like a little pinch, and you do this. So curve it a bit, or that if you're going for like a shot, you can do flat, or if you're doing this. But there's a lot of types of backhands, and I'm going to show you for an example with the puck. It's a bit harder, but this is so you can practice stick handling like this. The ball, any object. Other way I'm playing slow for you guys, so you guys can see. And yeah, that is my hockey video, but I got a couple more things to show you before I end it. There's player, goalie, and yeah, this is a hockey trapper, right? That's the goalie plays. And for an example, some people say if you're new to hockey, the best gear gets you like the best plays. No, it doesn't. These are used gloves. I just got them recently. And to be honest with you, used gear does not matter. Used gear will actually help you a lot better because it's broken in and it's a lot cheaper, and when you grow out of it, you didn't pay as much as you pay for normal gear. But don't use all your good ice hockey. This is an ice hockey stick, or you can use it for ball hockey or street hockey, but I would eat up the blade. Like, I use this stick for a bit of street hockey, and you could see that that's worn out a bit, but it's still pretty good. So I stopped, right? And look, this stick right here, this has holes here. These have holes in them, and these are the kind of gloves. These are old gloves. These are your old good equipment, okay? So you could buy used equipment for good ice hockey, and you could buy bad. You could buy, like, not bad, I would say, like, used hockey equipment. There's nothing wrong with either one. But the thing with new is you have to break them in, but still, they're newer and they last longer, and they're like different types of things. And older are a bit heavier, and they're still pretty good though. But see these gloves? I got them used, but the person who had them probably used these as their normal like play game hockey, right? And then after a while they used them, looks like, they used them for, what's the word? They used them for like street hockey or whatever they play with them for, right? So these gloves right here, they're used. They're like pretty much brand new still. They have a couple, like one little almost rip, but they're still, besides that, they're still brick fresh. They're still good gloves, like used for good things, right? So this glove right here, these used to be good, but if you've been playing hockey for a long time, you could buy these gloves right here. You can get like different types of pairs of gloves. It's a bunch of brands, right? And this one has holes in them. So these used to be good, but the person I got them from, they used them for a while. So then they use them for street hockey, like I said, and then they switched to these gloves, and then they probably stopped playing hockey. Because that's probably why I don't even know why, but probably why they sold them, right? So the best thing to do is get good use of your equipment until it's like these gloves right here. These gloves, if they get 1 or 2 holes in them, they're not like dead. These gloves are still, I could say, this is just my personal preference, and most people would say that if you're talking to your parents. These gloves right here, they have holes and stuff in them, but they're still still good for playing ice hockey with. And if you use these for playing street hockey and you use these for ice hockey, it wouldn't go well. So if you're playing for fun, you could use these, right? Because you don't want to wreck your good gloves like this pair, right? So just use these gloves. I would say these gloves would be fine, but if you have one pair of gloves, use them until, I would say, they just barely fit, right? So then you could use them for a while, or even if they don't fit really anymore, you could use them, because these are still perfectly fine gloves. Like they're beat up, but they're still really good. Like they may look bad, but these aren't minor. Like these gloves are still very well playable. But these gloves should be used for at least maybe another. If you're an adult and your hands don't grow as much, right? Your hands have stopped growing, then you could use these for maybe another 10 years or more. But if you're a kid, you would say, let's say you get about 2, 3, 4 years out of your gloves, but it depends on what your age level is. But like I'm saying, don't get rid of your old gear. Keep it, because wanna know what happens? You should keep these in your ice hockey bag just in case, right? Because what happens if I go to, to go play with my buddies or something, right? And I take out these. I'm looking for my street hockey gloves, right? And then I'm digging my bag, right? I put those there, and I find, okay, I found them, right? I found my gloves. But then when I come back in, just see I forgot these. Then guess what? You spare a pair of gloves, and you know they still work. So always make sure you have two sets of gloves, but if you only have one, that's still very okay. There's nothing wrong with one set of gloves, and that's completely okay. I would say there's nothing wrong with that, but to still have two sets is good. But just saying use gloves, get more use. Most people say, like, if they turn to this, throw them out, they're not good. Wanna know what happens with that? Once somebody gets like halfway through a stick or gets a couple chips, they'll become too picky of their sticks. So if you think of people who don't have this much money, which is, I respect them completely, no offense at all. Like they're normal people. They're people who like play ice hockey and they don't have the best equipment. To me, I don't think of them as the bad stuff. I think of them as just buying used equipment. There's nothing wrong with that. It's top line equipment, but just older. Think of that. This is top line equipment, but just old and used. Like these gloves. These gloves aren't top line. None of these are. These are old. These are like old leather gloves. Most people use this kind of material nowadays, and people always say like old material, like yeah, they're old. Well, you wanna know what? Not many NHL players are using leather gloves. They're using this material that they used back in the day. So that proves you something. That old gear is never bad. It's old. I think of old gear as good because you wanna know what? They're broken in. Because look at this trapper. This trapper, I'd say it's still pretty good, but it's not too broken in. It only has some puck marks and not too much in it, right? Let's say it's broken in since I broke it in, but before it was not even broken in. And old gloves, these gloves are like freaking, like it takes no effort just to move them, and that's good because when you get all the mobility and all the use out of them. So if I'm pretend stick handling, right? If I'm playing, right, using one hand, I'm just showing for an example, right? Old gear. Think of this, people. I'm taught you to play a bit of hockey, taught you about the gear, and when you play goalie and all that, keep your old equipment until it doesn't fit you. Because you want to know why? You could sell them or give them to a kid who's first started playing hockey, and they'll be happy probably. So when you're first playing hockey, keep your old gear because if you get nice hockey, you'll definitely like street hockey. So I've taught you guys a life lesson to be thankful because I am, but everybody's different, and difference never bad. But thanks for watching, guys, and remember, when you're playing hockey, always treat your gear very well and keep your old gear so then you can use them for other things like street hockey and other things. So yeah, so see you guys and thanks for watching. Have a good one. Peace.